Hello guys and welcome back. In the previous episode we've been traveling from Saigon all the way up to Dalat in the Central Highlands. And in today's episode we are leaving Dalat, we are heading down a beautiful mountain pass to the coastal city of Phan Rang and beyond. So stay tuned because today we've got a lot of ground to cover and this is one of the most beautiful routes I've ever done. As you leave Dalat, you drive down a winding road through greenhouse plantations with a massive windmill farm in the distance. And the further down you go the road, of course, the bigger those windmills appear until they are suddenly right in front of you and it almost feels like you can touch them. They are so massive, it's incredible. Also surrounded by beautiful tea and coffee plantations. It's so amazing. But that's not all, because the best of this part of the journey was yet to come. First, I passed some villages and, stopped for a coffee. It's always so nice to hang out with the locals. They are so chilled and cool, It's so nice to be amongst them. And then about 20 minutes later, I arrived at the Din Deo Don Muk Pass. Kind of reminded me of those famous volcanoes in Java, Indonesia, like Mount Bromo. Well, that's the place where I really want to go to. Then you ride down this path and the views get better and better. It's just so incredible. Then after a while, the mountain pass flattens out and you drive through a valley. But for the first hour, it's a little bit boring, but still enjoyable. And yeah, it's very relaxed. And then suddenly you see coconut trees and the vibe is completely changing. It feels sunny and tropical. It's such a vibe. Gave me a big smile on my face. Really, it really did. Finally, I arrived in Phan Rang and found a nice little room near the beach for only around $15 and it was very close to the beach. A super clean beachfront with almost no people at all. It's a really nice and serene city, super clean, one of the very few towns in Vietnam where you can get your peace of mind, no honking, and it feels basically like a Western city, yet tropical and very quiet. Now that was it for today, and tomorrow we are heading down the coast to the dunes and it's gonna be a big surprise. So yeah man, I was really blown away by the massive change of scenery I experienced on this day. Just within 2 or 3 hours. The red area indicates the Central Highlands. We went from Dalat down to Phan Rang at the South China Sea. But the mountainous area actually goes from the south to central Vietnam all the way along the Ho Chi Minh Trail to the Phong Nha Caves. So no matter where you are here, it's not gonna take you longer than 2 or 3 hours until you are here at the South China Sea. I left Phan Rang towards south and after 10 kilometers there was a dune area called Nam Quoc Sand Dune and these are the photos. Wow, this place was stunning. It looks like right out of Africa, Dubai or Saudi Arabia. But I really didn't expect to see something like this in Vietnam. Very, very cool experience. So I drove further down the road and suddenly there was a massive mountain range right in front of me. Then the road made a right turn to the city of Ca Nha and suddenly the scenery changed dramatically again. It reminded me of what I call the Amalfi Coast in Italy. What a stunning place. It instantly brought a smile on my face. Look at the view, it's insane. I remember there was a gate and from there started the Ninh Thuan coastal road. And what an experience to ride along these magnificent rocks. It was truly magical. When it comes to vehicles, I was actually the only one. So I had all the place for myself. That's exactly what you want, right, when you go on a trip. So anyway, thanks for watching the video until here. One thing I want to mention, I didn't go back from here to Saigon. Instead, I returned to Phan Rang and continued to Nha Trang. Okay, so this photo I took at a place called Finlu. And from there, the landscape turned into an epic road with rice fields to both sides. Then, eventually, I hit the main road, but only for a couple of minutes, grabbed a coffee again and took the back roads and passed the airport on my way to Nha Trang. And it was such a great feeling to arrive there because it was a completely different vibe once again. The beach is super nice, super clean, white sand, it's just amazing, but I overall somehow didn't like the vibe of the city. I don't know, it's just chemistry, it didn't click with me, and I do remember that I was in Nha Trang in 2019 in the high season, and there was more of a mixed crowd, all kind of nationalities, but when I went to Nha Trang, like in 2024, the weather was cloudy and there were also only some Russians and Koreans, and that was pretty much it. I don't know. The place looked a little bit dire despite having a beautiful, beautiful beach. By the way, there is a little island in the distance that you can go to with a cable car, but I didn't do that. Because, well, as always, I just jumped back on my bike and continued the journey a little bit further up north. Okay, let's talk about the hotel I stayed in the one night I stayed in Nha Trang. So that was really a highlight of this trip. I got a room with an amazing bathtub with view to the room for only, I think it was only literally $12, and the room was just so good. So the next day, I took my stuff and I started the way back to Saigon. But first things first, I went to Dalat via another mountain road. Okay guys, so I will sign off from here. I say thanks for watching, and the rest of the video will be photos accompanied by music showing you routes and places back to Saigon that you haven't seen yet in this video. There will be a jungle coaster, a waterfall, and another dune area near Canal. Bye bye, and see you in the next episode.